Hello, everybody. The gospel this weekend gives us this wonderful, timeless story about the disciples walking the road to Emmaus. And we like this story because we can really identify with these guys. They're just two guys going about their business and talking about the news and then feeling a little more than a little despondent about it. It's a good story. We can identify with that. And we've heard it dozens of times over our lives. Usually, when we reflect upon it, we recognize that we're in the presence of Christ when we break bread together. And fair enough, we are. That's a good message. But let's talk about the fact that they're walking along this road. Let's talk about the setting of the story once. They're on a journey, as we all are through life. We're journeying, and they're not at home watching basketball on TV. They're not sitting in a bar with time to kill, or they're not even, reflectively pondering in a church. They're just going about their day, moving forward from one place to the next. I don't think the fact that they are on a journey is merely incidental to the story. I think it's a germane to the point because it makes it our story, doesn't it? I mean, we're all walking along, going about our business, journeying from one thing to the next thing in life. That's what we're doing. And along the way, right, as we go forward, we talk about the news and we talk about current events, and often we become despondent. In some ways, it was the same despondency they felt, a sense of forlorn hopelessness, perhaps. But like these guys, we too meet people along life's road. And sometimes there are people who, like them, we're not quite sure what to make of them. It's easy to walk away from such people. It's easy to just sidestep them or maybe allow them to journey with us for a bit, but not necessarily invite them to join us for dinner, right? We've put up boundaries on. We just don't want to get too close to people that we don't necessarily understand. But these guys did. They embraced the stranger and sat down at the table with him. And it was here when they paused from the journey, when they took a time out with the guy, when they disengaged their attention and all the energy from the spinning hubbub of the world in which they lived, and instead they focused it on the person in front of them who was breaking bread with them. This is when they recognized the Christ within him. Not when they were busy walking along the journey, wrapped up in the story of the news and everything else, but rather when they stepped back from all of that and just sat with this stranger and got to know him and broke themselves open and poured themselves out, and he did likewise. And there's just so much for us to learn from this. As we journey through life, how much of our attention is distracted by all the stuff we have to do, the places we need to be, and the news that's swirling around us. We spend so much of our energy and so much of our conversation and our focus and our mind space and even our heart space on all that stuff, but we're not going to recognize Christ there. We're just not. It's when we pause to take time to sit with people, to share bread and wine with them, or a cup of coffee on a Saturday morning, or a cold beer in the garage, or coming this summer, a hot dog and a cookie in the park with one of our Streetlights Outreach block parties. This is when we finally get to recognize the living Christ in each other and let them see Christ in us. May the authentic presence of Christ rain down upon you. May the authentic presence of Christ stir the heart within you. And may the authentic presence of Christ surprise others through you. Have a great week.